Did somebody know?
It was right away. That was my piss! That was my piss, dude! We're like, stop, piss break, not the usual kind. KFC Radio is presented by Stacker 2. It is loud, aggressive, and straight out of the Attitude Era. Stacker 2 is an OG in the energy and supplement space. I used to sling this shit back when I was slinging supplements to everybody. Stacker 2 chew gummies have more caffeine than other gummies while being small in size and price. Stacker 2 chew gummies and energy shots are designed to give you maximum energy while still tasting amazing. Amazing grace. Stacker 2 is teaming up with us at Barstool for a chance to come to the NYC office, hang out with the team, sit on a recording of the show, and go home with some Barstool merch. To enter that, all you have to do is go to stacker2.com/Barstool, make a purchase online, take a screenshot of your receipt, and tweet us the photo with the hashtag #BiteBack for a chance to win. Again, to enter, all you have to do is go to stacker2.com/Barstool, make a purchase online, take a screenshot of your receipt, and tweet us the photo with hashtag #BiteBack for a chance to win. I have a confession. Do I know what I've been doing recently? Yeah.
Go ahead.
I've been threadsing.
Like the Twitter on Instagram?
I use Threads.
Threads?
Yes.
You use Threads?
Yep.
All by yourself?
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Pavs.
It's
Bro, that is the behavior of a crazy person.
It is. I agree. But here's what I'm learning pretty quickly. We're just
tweeting to nobody.
We're just doing. Oh, I'm not posting. I'm not saying anything. I'm just like spending my time scrolling on it. And what I'm learning is that like it doesn't matter what we're scrolling as long as we're scrolling something.
Something. That is true. There's definitely truth to that because you're not. You put it this way. You never put your phone down and be like, damn, that was a good session of Twitter.
Yeah.
The way that that was a good episode of TV. Right. That was a good movie. You're never like, damn, Twitter really just hit.
I mean, I moved it up. It's right now. It goes Twitter, Instagram, Threads. It's just.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like just on
your
my
order
app,
of things that you do. What else is there?
I just mean in all my apps. It used to be like 4 pages back, and I just moved it up to like
I see.
more
and people are on
area.
there.
Yeah, like
you bring word from the land of Threads.
It's
like I thought that was dead.
No, people use it. It's nothing. It's just fun. Like I'm not doing anything on Twitter either, and so I'm just scrolling. It honestly
or worse, like same.
Yeah, the same.
Toxic.
I wouldn't say toxic, but like I don't think Twitter's toxic when I just scroll the timeline either. I think the mentions.
I feel like I always see something. You know?
But I also have a rule where I don't chase things. Where I'm not like, who are they replying to? What's this about?
Yeah. I'm just saying I usually, like, within a scroll, it's like my sports teams, and then, some, sure enough, there's a tweet like, he should pay for dinner on a date, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, there we go. There, like, that's the beginning of it.
I don't get much of that. I think, because you're a For You guy, right?
No. Well,
no?
I get duped into For You. I don't know if it's like when you close all the way out of the app and if you reopen it, it defaults to For You, or if I have a setting on or whatever. But I don't look at that. So what I open up and I start scrolling, and then usually when some fucking like lame shit that I hate, I'm like, why am I looking at this? I'm like, I look up and I'm on the For You tab.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. Then I switch back over to following. But like it's gotta like jump out at me.
It's objectively it's a lame reason, but like I was like this weekend I was like I'm gonna start using Threads. It was like there was a Musk video and I was like it's lame how much I hate him. Like I was like I can't fucking see this guy anymore. Dude, that video of him at the New York Times book summit
when he gets the name wrong,
that one, and when he's like
I didn't see the other one.
It's just like when he like they're like. It's Andrew Ross Sorkin who's interviewing him, and he's just like, "What do you say to advertisers who are leaving?" He's like, "It's just him trying to." It's a man who's so deeply uncool, who just so badly wants to be cool.
That's his thing.
And he's like, "What do you say to the advertisers?" He's like, "Go fuck yourself," and he says it like, and he's like trying to like
with that weird voice of
put his chest out, And he's like, and Joel Sorkin's just like, what? And he's like, go fuck yourself. And like he's waiting for like applause from the crowd or something like that, and no one's saying anything. And everyone's like, what? And he's like, GFY. Can I make it any more clear? And then he's like, and then Andrew Ross Sorkin's just like, well, it's gonna. Like, I get that, but let's be realistic here.
Right. You're going to lose all your money.
It's going to kill the company. Yeah. And he's like, no, it will be documented. They will have killed the company. And he's like, well, yeah.
The company will be dead.
He goes, and it will have all the documents, and we will show Earth, and we will let Earth decide. And I was like, this guy fucking sucks, dude. And honestly, it wasn't even this weekend. It must have been Wednesday. I saw this week. Because I had it quote tweeted. And I was like, it sucks so bad to have to watch someone so uncool try and be cool, whatever. And then I was like, you know what, who gives a fuck, John? And I deleted it. And then the next day, Dave was like, Twitter, can we have money, please? And I was like, thank God I didn't send that fucking tweet. Then I was like, and then I started noticing more just like the advertisements I get on Twitter. Where like I get like Gavin McInnes advertisements.
Who's that?
I think that's his name. Like, he's just like a Nazi.
Dude, that's what I'm telling you. That's what
in the actual sense of the word, not in the
like all that For You shit is just right-wing nonsense. And I'm like, I promise you, this is not for me because I hate this. I'm actively hating this while I look at it.
The other day I was scrolling Twitter. I almost deleted it after this. I saw 2 killings, like 2 people get shot in the head, and it's like not. And then I saw somebody was quote tweeted, Jack Harlow has his 4th #1 hit, and then somebody quote tweeted with, "Can we just slip this guy some press Xanax and get it over with?" I was like, I'm deleting this before 9 a.m. I saw that.
God damn, yeah, no, it is about it.
And it's just like you start to notice it, and I'm like.
Fucking pussy John will run threads. Just having a nice little morning, drinking his coffee.
I actually just opened. Like, it's nothing. But again, like I'm not reading anything on Twitter either. Like Seinfeld episodes. I don't know who most people are. Rappaport. Elijah Fury. I don't know. This one's about Israel. But. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I'm just scrolling.
It all sucks.
I mean, Bargatze's got that old joke about it, like from his half-hour stand-up special, where I think he's about Facebook at the time. So it is cyclical with what apps are doing what. No, Facebook is. He goes through he talks about following Leo on Twitter and how celebrities say nothing fun, and then he talks about Facebook's for birthdays.
Yeah, they all have like their.
But I don't know what the third one is because he's like, and that one's just like, you want to see a murder video? And you're like, no. And they're like, well, I already started playing it. But I forget what app he's talking about.
That's probably Twitter. That's where I see all my murder.
No, I think that Twitter at that time, because when that came out, Nate's stand-up special was 10 years probably.
Yeah, right.
Maybe not quite, but like it's old. So I don't think Twitter was the problem at that time.
It's all the worst. It's so bad.
But it's been like eye-opening. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm not really reading any of this. I'm not really registering any of this. So like, might as well do it here. Who cares? I still use Twitter, obviously, but I at least am sometimes using Threads.
I couldn't. I can't engage anymore. So I just I tweet and leave.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, what's the point? You know?
What do you mean?
What's the point of even tweeting? It's like I'm just going to tweet and then not engage with it or anything. It's like, you know what I mean? Then just don't fucking use it at all.
I disagree with that.
Just get this out of your life. What?
I disagree with that because you're still sharing whatever you're sharing.
Something. But if you're just tweeting about stuff but then refusing to engage, it's like...
I don't know. I've really liked my Twitter experience since I stopped mentions because I'm just like, this is what I think. I don't know. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you know.
Yeah, but my point being that it's like, then you don't really need that at all either. Like, why do you even need to say shit?
But that's this, right?
Yeah, I guess so. We get paid for this. Like, if I got more money, like the people who make money off of Twitter, if I could make real money off of Twitter, like some of these people, just because of how they've curated their, I would be tweeting like a motherfucker.
But I think that is ultimately what like ruined Twitter, where like just the pay for tweets. Because it's just all the fake bait, engagement bait, and stuff like that. And, like, I mean, we're as guilty of it as anything. Like, someone came to me the other day and was like, Feits, give me your hot take. You're dropping in your Chevy. I'm like, shut the
Dude,
fuck.
I said it the other. I think we're reaching a point. I think it'll be us because we always talk about like we're the first generation to live without the internet, but then like live through the internet. And when you kind of like reach the end of the internet, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like the other day, it was Brandon and Titus, and I saw it was just like Brandon Walker has like the hot take about Thanksgiving, and it was just what time do you eat dinner, and it was like. We've done all the arguments. We've had all of the arguments to have. We've done all the side quests. We've won the main missions. I don't know what else to do other
Should we
than
start focusing on the cancer now? We've had enough fun about how we wipe our ass and stuff.
I think it's like it's a video game that you either just go back to the beginning and start again.
Yeah.
With like all the power-ups and shit. Like you have some of the knowledge and you have some of the followers and you just do it again. Or I don't know. I think it's like uncharted waters. Where it's like, what does somebody do when they've like, have you seen this video? Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, have you ever heard about this theory? Yep. You know about this conspiracy? Yeah. I got to show you this thing. Seen it. Done it. Did you know this like little this Easter egg? Yup. I know all of the things. I've had all of the arguments. Somebody who was it the other day? Somebody was like, "Oh, I heard a good question." Blah blah blah. It's an ATI question. Like it was just. Yeah. It's just. We've done it all, and that obviously that's like the guy who said like all the things that need to be invented have been invented. Mm-hmm. Like obviously there's more to talk about, but like the surface level shit that we do on these apps and all that, it's like I used to really like it. I really did. Like I enjoyed having those arguments and those like silly debates, but then once you've done them all, it's like I think I have to retire. Yeah. It's like the same thing we were talking about the jokes, like the inside jokes. It's like. If all of my favorite like lines and jokes and material are just dated, I just have to retire. And I can't keep. I'm like a hack comedian from like the '80s, just running the same routine. I can't. But you can't like adapt new. If you start using like the new language and the new this and that, then you're like lame and a tryhard.
Yeah.
So you just have to go be an old person. I think we have to just get off the internet and be an old person somewhere and be like, I don't know. I just like sit outside and we'll become the Umarels. Yeah. This is finally the time to become Umarels. Just stare at construction sites.
I've been working towards being a 65-year-old man for quite some time.
Can we just become 35-year-old, 45-year-old, 65-year-old men? Just cut out that 20, 30-year period.
I've been getting off technology. I've been wearing more sweaters. I'm basically done.
Are these bell-bottoms?
Oh yeah.
I saw it when he walked out, and I was like, "Those are flaring out at the bottom, aren't they? Those are motherfucking bell bottoms.
These are polyester bell bottoms, brother."
Like, are you going somewhere today?
No.
After work?
No.
This is just your work fit.
This is just my work outfit. Yeah.
It's your work outfit, not your work outfit. If that's your work outfit. So that's crazy.
But to be clear, I've had these for a year. I've worn these a lot.
Yeah. I just noticed it today with like your boots were like clopping, and you had the sweater on, and I was like, this is a fit, and yeah, bell bottoms, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Just bell bottoms to work. Yeah. If I had a fucking 1/100th of that confidence, man. Get up. Sometimes I'll put on a shirt. I'm like, is this shirt too blue or not enough blue? I don't know. Should I go with this shade of navy or this shade of navy or this shade of blue? And you're like, I'll put on the bell bottoms.
I love these.
How many bell bottoms do you have?
Just this pair.
And then the red get up.
Yeah.
The OG. Yeah. Not the OG, but
this is a more that's like a night out on the town bell bottom. This is a little more subdued.
This is your just like play bell bottoms. So you'll go home and you'll wear these bell bottoms until what time?
No, I mean, since I go to the gym now, I'll probably
Let's say if you didn't go to the gym.
If I didn't go to the gym, I'd wear them until bed.
And you would just take them off and just get in bed.
I'd be right to
You would be at home sitting just like this.
Exactly like this.
Shoes on and everything. Watching TV.
Yes.
That is so disgusting. That is so disgusting. That is the most disgusting. That is despicable. That is my least favorite thing about you. If somebody asked me like like we know that you love John. What's like one thing you hate about him? It's this. I hate it. I hate it so much. It makes no sense. It makes my skin crawl. It makes me think that you might be a murderer. Like that's like the fact that you just go like this and then and you go back home the same way exactly is like so sickening.
What is it's gross as in like germs or
no.
gross?
No. This is all like metaphorical. It's just I can't even fathom it.
I mean, sometimes on rare occasions, if I get too high, maybe I will.
You'll get high like this.
What?
That's so
That is crazy.
That's crazy.
Because I was gonna say I'll stay in these jeans until like 10 tonight, but like if I was getting high, like I have to be cozy.
Cozy gang, man. Yeah. See, that's the main difference between me and you. Like I am the card carrying member, the president of the cozy gang. I am a cozy boy for life. Literally, get in the door, like 4 p. I'll go if. We're done after radio today, I think, pretty much. I might get home at like 3 o'clock today. Pajamas. and I understand that's more erring on the side of you've given up on life. I get that. Putting on pajamas at 2 p.m., not the best. But if you gave me the choice between this and wearing bell-bottoms till 11 p.m., yo, you need to drop like a Drake track called Bell-Bottoms at 11 p.m. That is so crazy to have your bell-bottoms and boots on at fucking... You'll take your boots off.
I'll take the boots off.
Okay. Yeah. Right when you get in the door, you'll take your boots off. And then you're walking around barefoot in bell-bottoms? That's even crazier. That's another album right there. Barefoot and bell-bottoms.
Usually, I'm just in sneakers, so I'll leave the sneakers on. Yeah, I would take the boots off.
And then...
I would probably keep them on. Yeah.
Just so you have just like a bell-bottom, like you wouldn't even be able to see your feet.
I'd probably pop on a slipper.
Pop on a slipper, okay. Yeah. I saw that the other day. John wore my favorite UGG slippers to work. Mm-hmm. And I was like... That's allowed now? I got tons of these, man. I can wear these UGG slippers to work. I can wear that in public. I've been wearing those privately for fucking 5 years.
You've been allowed to do that since Brady got in the game.
Not really. I've never seen you do that.
Oh, I've never done it. Yeah. But I think UGGs have been cool for a while.
Yes. Don't get me wrong. UGGs for sure. Those are like slippers, though. Like UGGs makes like the girl boots are like they're slippers, but they're boots and they make hybrids and shit. Those ones they have like a sole, but nobody would ever be like those are shoes. Those are fucking slippers that we're now just wearing in public. Oddly enough, I'm not going to do that.
Cause you'd wear them with like sweatpants. You gotta wear them right.
But even that, like, let's say I find the right... I don't think I have the right clothes to do that. But even if I had it, I think I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like a Freaky Friday thing. It's crazy. I'm like, I can't...
I get that, though. You're like, this is my work. This is my homework.
Yeah, because then I'm like, I wore those, like, in Manhattan.
Yeah,
right.
Then I have a pair of slippers I won't wear.
Your house, your house shoes or whatever. Mm. But that whole... That's like the yin and yang of us, man. Dude, my kids are so funny. When my kids are hanging out with me, they'll be like, can I wear pajamas to the park? And I'm like, yeah. There's no rules. No one's going to stop you. I'm the only one who's going to stop you and look at me. They're like, or sometimes we have a little bit of a big daddy thing going on where I'm like, go get dressed. And they come down. I'm like, really? And I'm like, come on, gotta go change your shirt. And they're like, no, why? And I'm like, I don't have a good reason. You don't have a boss. You don't have to impress anybody. I was like, if we were going to somewhere with your friends, I would say your friends are gonna make fun of you, but we're not doing that right now. So yeah, you can wear that like undersized Spider-Man shirt and those weird pants.
Did you get dressed as a kid? Like, did your mom dress you?
I mean. Wait, we were talking about this the other day on radio. We were kind of talking about it.
Yeah.
Like it was more about like when I started to worry about brands and style and stuff. When I was in like 6th and 7th grade was when I first started noticing that like I was still wearing like Bugle Boy and my buddies were wearing like Army fatigues. And I was like, how do I get fucking those? Because my mom's not buying that shit. As far as like picking out my own outfits though, I think I was probably putting on my own clothes, but purchased by my mom through all of like elementary school, 4th grade, 5th grade was probably when I don't know. I don't remember. I don't have a true memory of buying stuff at like a mall until like 6th or 7th grade. Like me like picking shit out. But I would imagine, walking through the department store or something, my mom would be like, "Do you like this? Do you like that?"
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
I don't remember. I know pre-K, I had a shirt. I mean, I said this on radio already, but pre-K, I had a shirt that I liked, and I would not throw fits, but I'd want that clean so I could wear it a lot.
I had a once a week rule, you can't repeat an outfit in a week, which is hilarious to think about. That obviously is repeating a fucking shit ton. But at that elementary school level, because people would be like, "Didn't you wear that shirt yesterday?" But if it was Monday to Monday, I'm in the
yeah.
Oh, then I'm good. Then I'm good. I'd be literally, I would almost have a Monday outfit, because it would be like, "This is my favorite outfit. I can't wear it again until next week. It's next week. I'm wearing it right away."
That's when they started making the underpants.
So you could just
the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
When did you start? When did you start dressing like an asshole?
I remember, my dad was a basketball coach, so all I wore for the first 12 years of my life was just
t-shirts,
baggy shirts, baggy camp shirts, stuff like that. And then I remember I forgot.
That's a great aesthetic, though.
It's a great
the basketball camp aesthetic is just when because you still think it's cool, because you're I'm just all about hoops, man, or whatever it is. I'm sure there's a variation of soccer, and every sport has it, where it's just this is my life. I'm so good at it, and I practice hard at it, and yeah, man, got this at camp. You feel good about it while still looking like a scrub. Yeah. And then eventually you're like, I can't wear cut-off T-shirts everywhere I go.
And everything's like an XL, and I was it was just there was no such thing as larges in camp shirts.
That was basketball too. It was obviously so the baggy was the culture. I mean, I almost remember. I'm old enough, I feel to remember when cut off T-shirts almost became a thing, where it was I want to say it was one of the Carolina teams, or one of the way the Fab Five had black socks or whatever. There was one team that was wearing cut off T-shirts under their jerseys, and it was oh whoa, and then we all started doing that. It's I mean, cutting off fucking sleeves and then people wearing them on their heads. What are we doing here? The good old days.
Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Gametime is the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. The Barstool Finer Things Club had its first meeting the other day. Me, Trent, Keegs, and Caroline saw Shucked on Broadway. Got our tickets from Gametime. Shucked, excellent play. Pretty good play. Solid play. It gets a little heavy with the corn jokes. They're a little corny, but then you kind of give yourself into it, and you're like, all right, it's just corny. Fine, I'm down. But it was a good time to see where Trent's from. That was cool. I'm going to use it this weekend. I'm going to Army Navy, so I am getting my Gametime all over the place. So you can do it too. Use your Gametime like I'm doing for, again, Army, Navy, Shucked, everything I go to. You get last-minute deals, flash deals, zone deals. It is easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices, so your total up front, something other ticketing people don't do. You know exactly what you're going to spend as soon as you see it. So you know you're getting a great deal without the hidden fees. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code KFC for $20 off your first purchase. That is the Gametime app, create an account, and use $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code KFC for $20 off.
Speaking of basketball, I was saying to you the other day from surviving Barstool, you could tell that you played a ton of basketball.
Oh, I wanted that they just didn't put it in the edit, but that when we switched from
the first game.
Yeah, that first game, I mean, every pass was ball fake.
I was jumping up and down in my room. Every single one was so crisp.
I mean, I had backhands going, and I really put 20 in a row on Rico's head. He was literally spinning around. And then I did a great confessional. I was like, he was in the fucking blender. And they just didn't use it. Which that's one of my only gripes is when you think something's good and they just they didn't use it.
Yeah.
Well, what? I need a reason why. It's everybody thinks their shit's good. But yeah, that felt. I got a couple tweets of people being like, "Man, the post was open all day for you." And I was like, "Good." Everyone always thinks I lie. I'm like, I'm a bag of bones now, but there was a time when I wasn't. Yeah, that was very funny watching that. So we'll talk more about the big Survivor debacle, but I feel like we got to mention it here as well. Bro, only us, and it makes sense why this would happen, because it's our biggest piece of content ever, is why it's making waves, you know? But it's fucking so Barstool that, like, the one thing that we, like, all got together and did and, like, nailed it for better, like, for luck or whatever reason, we nailed it, and now we will cut our exposure. Whatever decision Dave made, we were going to cut our exposure by, like, 90%.
Yeah, hundreds
literally,
of thousands
like,
of people.
Bro, we were getting to the point where those first 3 episodes started rolling to like 600, 700,000, and that was only
with age restrictions.
Right. And that was only going to snowball. And
by the way, catch the season finale of Adam 22 getting to decide who fucks his wife on YouTube tonight.
That is such a great point, dude. I mean, there was a million examples, but people sent me a Comedy Central Jim Brewer stand-up where the first 30 seconds is just him talking about blowing up somebody's house. It's just like, but I don't know. I'm sure, you know, I think this is, we've always been so behind on YouTube. I'm sure those guys, you know the right people, do the right things, run it by somebody first, like make them. I'm sure there are people at YouTube that want to feel like, you know, they have the power over you. Or it's like, if we said to them, "Yo, we're about to debut this. Take a look. Is there anything you don't like?" And they probably would be like, "It's fine." You know what I mean? But you do it, and you get the strike, and then you're fucked, and they lord over you with their like 3-hour rule. I just feel like there is so much other shit on YouTube that's way worse, that it means it's on us to figure out how to fucking do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can. It's not fair. Yes, that's true. But how come we're not like Adam? How come we're not like all these other things that can do it? You know, they can for some reason. I don't know. Do you have to fucking? Is it shady shit? You got to like grease palms. I mean, got to grease palms. You have to have relationships. You have to have the right. I don't know. But it's just like we did the biggest thing ever and did not think about like how to put it out. It's at the end of the day, you know, it's censorship, freedom of speech. It's a monopoly. It's fucked. All of that. There's truth to some of that. It's to some degree and all that. But also, it's like, I don't know. We're the assholes who found ourselves in the spot. So
I would agree with that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's like and again, it feels like I'm gonna say all this again on radio. And if you listen to radio, you're listening to this again. But like, if you don't want to pay, you don't want to pay. You.
Oh yeah, that battle is
like I strongly disagree. I'm very happy. I have. Probably for as long as I can remember, I'm maybe sure that if you dig up a tweet or something, there's something different. But we've sat on the show for years and years and said like, well, I want to watch something, I just buy it.
I'm not looking for the stream. I'm not looking for the.
If you don't have two nickels to rub together, then it's a very unfortunate situation, and I'm sorry for that. But like, I don't know, my entire life, like when I was in college, I just if I wanted that T-shirt, I bought the T-shirt. I enjoy paying for things because someone fucking made it. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, but there's just not a lot of people think that way.
That's
like the entire world is like me.
But the entire world also loves to complain about the quality of things.
Yeah, but that's also the world. And it's like I'm going to complain and not do what I need to do to fix it.
This is the like I actually saw something. And again, I've been guilty of this before, complaining about air travel and things like that, and how it used to be they wore suits and they had full meals on the plane and things like that. And someone I follow was just like, it still is, just so you know, if you're willing to pay what they paid to fly back then. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's a good point.
It was like $1,000 a flight.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, good point.
If you want to go to Fort Lauderdale for $69 round trip, you're not gonna get all that shit. Yeah, that's fair.
It's like flights used to be really expensive, and now if you pay that, inflated price, whatever the time is, you got a fucking bed, and you got
booze, and
you got everything.
A servant.
You probably smoke a cigarette if you want.
There definitely is something to, if you don't create something, sounds corny, but it's like, I will pay because somebody created something, and I know that something went into that.
Yeah.
You're not in that world if you're just like, you don't have that sort of job or a creative hobby or whatever, you don't think, you're just like consume.
But it's just with anything.
Consume.
It's just a personal preference, but I subscribe to the New York Times and the Boston Globe and the Athletic because I just hate when I click on a link and it doesn't open for me. So I'd rather pay for access to that
stuff. And everybody
stuff.
kind of has their levels to it.
Yeah.
I'll pay for this. I'll pay for this. I'm not going to pay for that. You'll keep going. Other people won't even. But that's where I put out a poll.
Sorry, real quick. Those when you get to a paywall, particularly on something you follow, I follow the New York Times, I follow the Globe, I follow the Athletic, and it's not that often I want to read something. But when I do, and I was getting the paywall, it was like the buzzer to Dennis and Sonny. It was like, that's a neg, and that would just
drive you nuts.
I probably read between those 3 publications, and I probably subscribe to a few more. I probably read 15, 20 articles a year, but I don't have to have that wall. That wall fucking infuriates me.
But that's, I think, when I put up a poll that said I either I like it, I think it's a good enough product, or I understand what's going on with the censorship, so we'll pay. I don't have the money to pay for this, or this is out of principle. There was nobody that was like, this is too expensive.
I saw that.
It was just, I don't pay for internet content. And I just can't stress enough how much you're going to have to give that up.
Yeah.
It's we again, like I was
not just for
earlier.
us.
The internet. That's what I'm saying. Like I was just saying to start the show about reaching the end of the internet. A lot of those people, I'm sure, in that poll voting that way are my age, my generation. And we have pretty much just had the whole internet for free.
Yeah.
But you paid for cable and paid for TV and shit. That was you just understood that. This is paid, this is not.
Yeah.
And the world has just flipped.
Right.
So, sorry, I don't know this is not a Barstool thing. We will probably be leading the charge in a way. Not like supporting the charge, just we are out in front.
Yeah.
So we are going to be the ones making a really good reality TV show internet product that runs into a censorship problem. So we're going to be the ones that first have to deal, and our fans are going to be the ones that first have to deal with paying and not paying.
But that's what surprised me is I was surprised at how many people were upset about it because I don't think maybe our fans don't consume other people's content because everyone charges. Patreons and Two Bears and I disagreed with that. I didn't think we're on the forefront. I think we're behind on pay content.
Yeah, I guess you're right in that sense. Yeah, we actually don't. We're the only people who don't have Patreons.
Yeah, celebrities have OnlyFans and there's Patreons for podcasts.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
I thought it was going to be people pay $10 a month to listen to an hour podcast. This was 1 week's worth of work for all the on-screen people, whatever you fucking call us, and then months and months of work for
the editors and
tons of editors and production and the people who planned it. It's a big production. It's $10. Again, if you don't have the money, I understand and I empathize with that. But if you have the money, $10 is not overpriced.
I can't get. That's what I'll just never understand. That there's just a psychological thing in people with certain. If you show me we just did a rapid fire, would you pay for this? Would you pay for this? Would you pay for this? My answers, or would you pay this much money for this thing? My answers would just drastically vary from people in that crowd, and I just will not. I don't think I am overly loose with my money. You know what I mean? To me, it's how can you not pay?
And if you don't want to see it, that's a different thing too. There's plenty of movies I don't want to see. I just don't buy.
You don't want to
but if I want to see it,
or if you are truly struggling, if you have if you are literally check to check, it's I need that $10. I get it. I'm sorry. That sucks. But if it's you don't have 9 individual dollars to pay for something that you clearly want enough to argue about.
Yeah.
I mean? Again, if you don't like it and it's not worth it, whatever, it's not worth my money or my extra clicks. There's a ton of things. I'm I got to go to another website. Never mind.
Yeah.
I get all of those arguments for sure, but it's you can get a cup of coffee that's $10 now. Something that lasts you 20 seconds that you'll pay.
It's kind of like the Uber thing where it's in the first few months or years of Uber, you didn't have to pay, and then or you didn't have to tip, and so now people don't tip on Uber because they're just well, I didn't have to. It's
that's what I mean. It's all a psychological thing. It's not. It's just I don't think I should have to do this, and it's Okay. And I understand, but I don't understand the argument of like I can get all of Netflix for $9. It's like, yeah, but you also just rented a singular movie for $4.99.
Right.
You know, so like.
Or for $20, or
yeah, well, right. I was trying.
I rented the movie for
cheapest.
$20 the other day, and I watched 5 minutes of it.
Right.
I am interested in watching it again though. The David Duchovny, Meg Ryan.
You know, it was a great movie that I just rented for $19.99. The Holdovers.
Oh, I saw it in theaters twice.
So good. Twice?
I saw it in theaters.
How about that kid? You know the story?
Yeah.
He's awesome. If you haven't seen The Holdovers, it's awesome too because I was just saying this because I was trying to find Christmas movies for my kids that aren't like the typical. My kids are starting to watch some of like the good shit in the past. And so I was like, you know, they've seen Elf, they've seen Home Alone, they've seen Santa Claus, and I was trying to find. And as I was going through it, I'm like, there is nothing new, like really new. You know, like there's no good Christmas movies. And obviously, this falls in one of those. It's a movie that happens at Christmas time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it needs Christmas for like the gravitas and the family. So it's not like a Christmas movie, but it is. So you can add it to the list of like a new. It's more of an adult one, but new holiday classic in my mind.
I saw it in theaters myself here in New York. Did I see it with Nate? I must have seen it with Nate. And then I was home for Thanksgiving. I went to see it with my dad because my dad was a prep school holdover.
Wow. I was about to ask you if you ever, but you were.
I wasn't holdover. He was when he was in boarding school in like the 80s. I think he was in boarding school in like 82.
So his parents hated him.
It was a little bit of that, I think, and then a little bit of he got in trouble. Yeah. But he was telling me a story.
How many people was he with?
I want to say maybe 5 others. And he went to Avon Old Farms, which is a boarding school in Connecticut. And I forget the guy's name, the headmaster's name, but he was like the hockey coach too. And he had a bunch of rabbits. And one of the punishments while we were home over, they had to clean out the rabbit cage. And the headmaster came down to yell at them while they were cleaning out like the rabbits, not cage, like fucking hen house type deal. Mm-hmm. And the headmaster at one point just goes, "If you guys keep fucking around while you're at school," and he just grabbed a rabbit and snapped its neck and goes, "That's you," and threw the carcass and then turned and walked away. And my dad said the guy he was cleaning the cage with just fucking fainted. He's like, so he started to clean the rest of the cage myself and drag him through the snow back to the dorm.
Yo, the shit that went on with like men back in that era, where it's just they were just completely unchecked power, where they could just rage and no one would stop them. What? Just snap a rabbit's neck and fucking toss it because he was, having a bad day or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's it. Like that was. He's like, I don't. He actually didn't tell me what he was held over for, but he was like, I didn't do anything to him. He was just the headmaster of the school, and he just pissed off. Just snapped its neck, threw it into the snow, and turned and stormed off.
That is next level shit right there. God. That movie. So if you don't know the story, it's Paul Giamatti is the headmaster. It's all about the kids.
No, he's a teacher.
Right, teacher. It's all about the kids who either don't have family or their family doesn't want them or they're problem children, and rather than going home for Christmas, they have to stay at their boarding school for the holiday week or whatever. And the main kid in it was just a student at one of the academies. They had like some sort of like, because they were using the academy to film, I guess they had not a rule, but just they said any kid who goes to these schools can come and audition to be an extra or in the background or whatever. And this kid, who I think it was Deerfield, I'm not sure. It was filmed at multiple academies, but this kid who is a film student, so it's not like he's like some schmo. He is trying to become a professional actor, but never did anything. This is his first. I
knew this was his first. I don't think I knew he was a student.
Yeah, he. I want to say Carnegie Mellon. He's like a freshman at Carnegie Mellon or some shit like that. Whatever it was. So his first movie ever is sharing, 80-90% of this movie of the screen with Paul Giamatti, who puts
going to be an Oscar nominated. He might catch one. Has anyone ever gone there? The movie's going to get nominated. I don't know. And Giamatti's going to get nominated. I haven't heard much about him. I don't know
about Giamatti.
No, about the kid.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's happened. Like your first ever movie Oscar nomination.
That would be so fucking gangster. I mean, he's crying on screen and it was such a good performance. Somebody tweeted that at me. Like, can you believe that kid is? And I was like, that's not true. Like that's a fucking fake tweet. Like that guy got mixed up, and I went and searched it. I was like, holy fuck, shit. How do you think they did the glass eye? Giamatti wouldn't tell the truth. Like he wouldn't tell how they did it. You think that you put something on your eyeball or something?
I would guess so. I don't think I really noticed that he had it. I thought Giamatti just had crazy eyes.
No. Well, I guess that I went and searched it right away. Does Paul Giamatti have a lazy eye?
I thought he just did.
If you come, I mean, if you look now, it's fucking gruesome. That guy's disgusting. Smells like fish. Has a lazy eye. No, he has some. Oh yeah. Some bug out eyes, but he doesn't have this. This was like.
Steak season. Omaha Steaks. The holidays are here. Let Omaha Steaks take the guesswork out of gifting. No bullshit. I gave my aunt and uncle a Omaha Steaks box once for Christmas, and they still talk about it to this day. They're like, that was the nicest thing you've ever done. I've never done it again. I probably should, but did it once, and every holiday. Remember when John Henry got us those steaks? It's a great gift. You can shop carefully curated gift packages with packages that are guaranteed to make the spirits bright all winter long. Go to omahasteaks.com and save 50% off site-wide. Plus, when you use promo code KFC at checkout, you get an additional $30 off your order. You can send tender, juicy butcher's cut filet mignons, mouth-watering burgers, gourmet jumbo franks, or even easy-to-prepare meals that are ready in a flash. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. This offer won't last long. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship your order right away, so shop early and beat the shipping rush now. Go to omahasteaks.com, use promo code KFC at checkout for an extra $30. Omaha Steaks is a gift from the heart, a gift that we remembered. Like I just said this. I didn't even know the copy. I said this. It remembered with every unforgettable bite. They tell it to me all the time. If you want to impress your family members, just get them Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com. Take advantage of 50% off site-wide, plus use code KFC at checkout. Get an extra 30% off your order. A minimum order may be required. Again, simply go to omahasteaks.com. Achieve gifting greatness today.
Yo, here's my proposition. I loved the movie, but I thought it was going to be the whole gang. I want the Holdovers too, with like 5 or 6 kids.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was going to be like the boys causing ruckus, causing mischief, and Giamatti like trying to wrangle, and they all have this like moment at the end. It was very cool the way it became just like those two and the woman who lost her kid. But I want another edition where, all of those other characters in the first 5 minutes where they're fucking with each other or stealing the weed and all that shit. Like that, I was like, this is gonna be for the boys. This is awesome. But Giamatti,
dude, I'm glad like you got jacked up about that because like obviously I lived a version of that.
Yeah,
bro, dorms. Awesome. When you're like dorms are cool in college. Dorms when you're like 15 and 14 are the greatest time of your life.
It's one gigantic like sleepover constantly. It's so awesome.
So sick.
So wait, dude. Yeah. To me,
we had one kid who would just lay in his bed and he would just throw throwing stars out his window door. and you might get hit. And you just had to like be aware of that as you walked through the door.
It's like 1, 2, 3, better duck, dude. Like, you're walking by the throwing stars room,
bro. Like it was. Maybe we'll bleep that. I don't know. But you may bleep. He's like, bleep it. Bleep that call. Bleep that I said the bleep calling him.
The bleep.
Just have a long bleep through all that. He's a maniac. But he would just lay it in and guess
they were like real.
And they leave marks, Kevin.
Yeah.
So you just knew walking by like as the year wore on, it was just like a hole being dug into the wall.
Yo. So I feel like, at Christmas time, I understand that kind of sucks, The kids are genuinely sad that their parents don't love them and are not coming. It's very. There's a couple heartbreaking scenes of these kids who are like, "What? I'm not going to spend Christmas with my family." But once I got over that and I was with the fellas for like a week and we were at school but not at school and we were just like causing ruckus, like awesome. Which I guess is regular part of like the rest of the year. So you guys, you would just give me some more stories. like was it is it for the most part were people just like regular, or was it always fun? Like
it was in my experience. It was, and obviously like people would have different experiences, but like in mine, it was always chaos.
Yeah,
and always fun.
Right. Like to me, I'm. So what ages were you? Was it again?
Sophomore year to senior year, so
15 to like 18.
No, I was young. I was probably I graduated
14.
at 17, so probably 13 to 17.
Dude, those are prime years. Like when you
You're
have a
13,
sleepover like at your friend's house, it's like the parents are like, "Shut up down there!" And what are you doing? What are you watching porn? Or what what other crazy shit you do on like a sleepover? It's just like you have unlimited time to do all that shit.
And, you have so much time to get into hijinks.
Yes.
So
school ends at like regular time.
School is like kind of like college, not in the sense that not that much like where like classes were all times, but like you had free periods and you had snack periods. It's crazy to be at a school where you sleep and you have snack breaks.
Yeah, that's nuts. Those two things should never cross over. Should be far space between. If you're a human that needs to be told to have a snack, you also shouldn't.
There were
sleep
10:30 was always you go over to talk.
Yeah, let me just really explain. Love all this except for probably like the rampant sexual abuse that happens in summer. 'Cause I'm sure that's a big thing.
Not everyone.
Cut that out. Not everyone. So when school would end, it was still pretty like regimented though, right? Like obviously, headmasters and shit don't fuck around. Or was it like you're free to like you know?
No, you're pretty free.
So like your school ends.
You have practice, but like
school ends at 3. You have practice, ends at 5. Whatever you want to say. You guys eat together.
Dinner, yeah.
And then like. If you want to watch some TV, you want to fuck around, you want to run around.
There were only TVs in the like
the main room.
In the main room, yeah. You couldn't have TV, but like by the time you're on the internet, you weren't watching YouTube quite yet. But like you were.
But if you wanted to just be like, we're gonna fuck around in John's dorm room and like.
So I was a day student, so I had a dorm too.
Right.
But yeah, you fuck around. Like actually, my dorm Bates was like a big video game dorm where everyone would come and play video games. But like I spent most of the time in my buddy's dorm where like again we just caused hijinks. Like, dude, my favorite thing every year was finding the like place in the wall. Like, you have a mirror in your room, but he would figure out how to get it off the wall because he'd be like glued to the wall. So he'd like get like a hot gun and melt the glue,
right?
Take that off, and then we'd get a saw. He'd use like a Swiss Army knife saw. And he would just saw a hole in the wall.
Right.
And we just store booze in there.
Yeah.
And then come in and melt the mirror down and get the booze out. But then everyone also...
So awesome.
Everyone would have a fucking container of peanut butter. Everyone on their dorm, on like right by their laptop, was a thing of peanut butter and a change jar. And I have no idea the science of this, but we had heard... Because you get spit tested at school. If they thought you were drunk, so
you could like lick peanut butter.
We'd heard that if you eat peanut butter first, it covers it up in a spit test, or if you have a penny under your tongue. So like everyone was ready to go, and it's like I remember reading his "He's on Sorry" tweet where it was like, New York is LA except everyone's drunk all the time, and like I kind of felt like that about a school. Like obviously not all the time, but like I definitely think that you'll get more functioning alcoholics out of a boarding school than anything else. Like just being like 15 with a fucking whiskey and a coffee cup. Yeah, no, I read the Iliad. Give me the fucking quiz.
So, Catcher in the Rye. Yeah, let's talk about it. That's fucking unreal, man. Yeah, I'm sure all the teachers were fucking functioning alcoholics too. Just one giant cycle. Like that sounds so awesome.
But there was one time we were cutting holes in it, and we had our buddy,
cutting holes in the wall.
Yeah. And our buddy Joey, we were like putting the whiskey shit. and before every single time my buddy Chris put a bottle in there, he'd throw it to our buddy Joey first, and he'd catch it, and he'd just go, "All right, get that back to me." And he'd put it in there, and he had like 4 things, and he'd go, "All right, get back to me." And Joey was a pretty what do you call it, gullible guy, and And then when he finally put the mirror back on, he's like, "Why did you just give all this to me first?" And he's like, "When they fingerprint this shit, it's gonna be yours." And he like freaked out for like weeks. Like, you gotta get that out of the wall. You gotta get that out of the wall. That was the same kid. We did the we made a bet with him where his dad came back from Vegas and bought him just the most atrocious shirt you'll ever see in your life.
Oh yeah,
it was red and it had a dragon on it and a yellow collar. But at school, you could wear whatever you wanted. You had to be in dress code, which is a jacket and a tie and pants and shoes and all that stuff. But you could, like, your fashion was your own. And we were like, you won't wear that every day for a month. And he's like, I bet I will. And, like, I don't even think there was a price that we'd given him. And he wore it every day. And, like, every day we would spill something disgusting on him. Like we just like squirt ketchup or mustard or like fling yogurt at him. And every single day he showed up the next day with that fucking shirt still on. It was grotesque.
I mean, awesome. That is what boyhood, childhood is all about. I don't know what boarding school for girls is like. I'm sure it's probably some
a lot of dip in between their toes.
Yeah, I'm sure those hoes, those little fucking sluts.
I said dip.
Yeah, I know.
I think you just thought I was giving foot jobs.
No, I'm sure they're just like, fucking maladjusted freaks too on the female side. But on the guy side, it just sounds so much fun.
Dude, the best day, this will be the last one, but the best day, arguably, of my life was when my bro, so there's a thing where, like, when like college applications have gone out and things like that, when you start getting your letters back, if you got in, you put it on your door facing upright, the acceptance letter. If you got waitlisted horizontally.
Wait, this is for college?
Yeah, so
okay.
When you applied to your college, when you get your colleges back, if you got waitlisted, you put it horizontally. If you didn't get in, you put it upside down. My buddy, this is 2009, and my buddy was like,
just to show to the other people.
Yeah.
Why would, like, if you didn't get in, you just want to like clown yourself basically? Be like, fuck it.
Yeah. Some people were, not everyone's putting up all their.
Yeah.
But my buddy, like, he was a big Photoshop guy, like before that was a thing. Mm-hmm. And just made a Harvard acceptance letter. And he's not a smart guy.
Right.
And just put a Harvard acceptance letter on his door. Oh, and it kind of came up in the movie when he's like, I'm not going to get into Cornell. Like, because there are a lot of kids like that where they're like, I'm going to an Ivy League school. And when I tell you
chaos
that this erupted into chaos, bro, like, how the fuck did McCarthy get in there? People storming their guidance counselor's office. Like, what it was dude, like, this entire campus was abuzz with like, how the fuck did McCarthy get into Harvard?
Did he ever end up telling him?
Yeah, he told him when he went to Wentworth. Dude, it was the funniest fucking thing. People mad at him, like he's like knocking on his door. What the fuck? I'm surprised everybody.
Gave it a shot. Hail Mary. I don't know. What can I say? Honestly, that's Harvard material, that move right there. That to me is, I can't think of a better thing. I mean, it's just hanging with the fellas. Was the
one time we got a kid's laptop. I had the same laptop and my laptop broke. And so we just took his laptop and put it in a safe place, and then just took mine and put a screwdriver right through the screen and left that on his desk. And just so he came home and just thought we stabbed his laptop with a thing, and he destroyed the room in anger. And then we said to come back, like, yo, my bad, dude. Like, yo.
He just tore his room apart?
Like, flipped his bed, flipped his roommate's bed through it. He's like, the fuck is wrong with you psychopaths? And we were just, like, so taken aback, like, oh, shit. Imagine just walking home to you home today, and there's just a screwdriver in your TV. What the fuck?
See, I love that. I can't get enough of that. That to me, like, I don't think I can. I can't. I don't think I can send Keegan to a boarding school. I don't know how that like works anymore. I don't think I could. But man, that sounds awesome. It sounds so much fun. I feel like girls don't do that stuff, right, Jackie?
Yeah.
But they just make fun of each. What's the line? We just make fun of each other till we have an eating disorder.
I mean, I don't know. High school is probably more. I don't know.
Oh man, that's so great. This fucking screwdriver, it's like the idle hand sort of thing. Like you give a bunch of like 14-year-olds like a night together, and they're just gonna come up with some shit. Why don't we stab this fucking thing with a screwdriver and pretend that? Like,
we're like, he'll walk in and just be like, "What the hell?"
No, he was not.
He was not like that. He'd have broken a rabbit's neck if it was around.
So I need the Holdovers 2 with the gang back. I also need the Holdovers prequel. They just, gloss over the backstory of Giamatti in like one scene.
Yeah.
Where it's like, whoa, I need to fucking hear about that one. So the Holdovers, I mean, when did you see it?
I saw it the weekend it came out.
But that's what I mean. When did it come out?
Probably the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Oh wow!
And then I saw it
it's on Apple TV now, so I wasn't sure if it was a. I didn't even realize it was a theater movie until I saw
No, it was longer than that. It might have been 2 or 3 weeks before.
I saw Clemmer's review of it outside the theater, and I was like, I thought this was just an Apple TV thing. Clemmer's review was great. We need more reviews like that. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
He was like, "It's just great."
Yeah.
It's just great. I'm so sick of every movie reviewer being like, it's an invasive journey wrapped up in a comical blah 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 that affects the human mind as much as it does the heart. And it's like this weird cadence. It's like,
what do you like about it? I don't know. It's awesome.
It was great. He said, the acting's good and the story's good. I don't know. I just really like it. Like, I'm watching that tonight, man. Big Holdover fan. Big boarding school. If you have boarding school stories, because there's also something about like everyone has college stories.
Yeah.
Because by that point, like that's what you're supposed to be doing. And, they're all good. But, like, when you're doing it as, like, a 14-year-old, there's something better about that. There's something funnier about the fact that it's, like, we are, like, weirdo, like, puberty monsters. Just, like, hormones raging through our bodies for the first time. And they cram everybody into in the same place and just like, I don't know.
You know something?
And that's where you're supposed to reform.
Yeah.
That's
not reform. Most of them aren't for reform.
Well, but
most of them
are. The imagery of it almost is like we're sending you away to boarding school. It's like fucking do it. Go ahead.
I can only speak for myself. I was excited to go. I was like, hell yeah. I would say the most unique thing I ever did there. We had a snowball fight once where no one could leave their rooms. It was amazing.
You just had a snowball fight inside?
Yeah. Like it was like between dorms. We brought snow in and you just throw it like it was like being in like an actual shootout where like
you just like behind
you pop it up and you're like waiting for someone to pop up. It was the most
and
fun
then it was just soaking wet everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, who cares? It's not our place.
And there's no
you can never do that again. Anywhere else in your life, you have to clean.
Absolutely right.
You had to clean. You put towels down on the floor.
I'm sure I was gonna say. I'm sure whoever like the help at that school was fucking hated.
No, I mean because we were in our own rooms. Just throwing into other rooms. So, like, you have to clean up yourself. We did knock our buddy's fucking jug of piss over on his laptop, on his computer, which was...
Well, it's jug of piss. I mean, everybody's got to know that when you do the indoor snowball fight, you put your jug of piss under the bed. That's the first rule of indoor snowball fights. Get rid of your jug of piss. What? He just go to the bathroom?
Just like you ever piss into a cup when you're in the dorm? Like, I don't feel like walking out of the bathroom.
But I get it. I didn't do it, but I fully understand it.
Yeah.
And then a snowball hit
like a big gulp full of piss.
Bro, if you have to do that for whatever reason, did somebody know?
It was right away. That was my piss. That was my piss, dude. We're like, stop, piss break, not the usual kind.
2 rules, man. No head hunting, no jugs of piss. So did you have like a guy who like a leader, if you will, that would be like, we're doing a snowball fight inside. Like these things. There was like one guy. Do you know who it was?
Yeah.
Like there was a dude who like always was kind of the leader of the high.
My buddy Chris. Yeah. Was like the high chase.
Yeah. That's like he was just like always the guy to be like, here's what we're doing, and for whatever reason, like it strikes him. He just would be like, Here's what's going on.
Yeah. A very dangerous mind.
You need those people, man. You need those people. So if you have boarding school stories, please send them in. Please. Anything on the level of jugs of piss, throwing stars, snowball fights indoors, all of it. It's awesome. Go watch the Holdovers if you haven't seen it yet. Very good.
Have you heard that bird's the word? Have you also heard that the West Coast legend himself, Snoop Diggity Dogg, has announced that he is done with smoke? It's over. He's eliminating it. How could it be? That's what you're wondering right now. You're like, how could it be? Snoop Diggity Dogg? How could it be? How could it be that the dog father, who once famously urged us to smoke every day, could now be giving it up? Well, we have learned, as it turns out, that he is going smokeless, joining forces with the makers of the world's most popular smokeless fire pits, Solo Stove, and has been coined their official spokesperson. It wouldn't be Snoop if he didn't drop it like it's hot, which is exactly what he's doing with the Snoop Stove, a limited edition bonfire pit. Fire pit is designed by Snoop himself. Each custom fire pit comes with a going smokeless bucket hat and limited run of stickers. Can someone in the studio, can you get me one of those before they sell out? A Snoop Solo pit? That'd be great. Just pop your credit card out and get me a Snoop Solo pit right now. So run, don't walk to solostove.com, pick up the limited edition pit, and join Snoop in going smokeless for good. I had a phone call yesterday that was... I texted about it.
You texted me about it?
I texted the group about it. It was Saturday, I think. Whatever. So the other day I had to... I told the story on stage before where... Oh, excuse me. My grandfather's very sick.
Oh, this. Yes.
And...
Yes. Dude, what is all over my face?
My parents have been like, you gotta call him. You gotta talk to him like he's not doing well. And I'd been very nervous about that because I think that I think we have a very normal adult and grandparent relationship, which is that like I know some people were raised by their grandparents. I was raised by my parents. My grandparents were around, but I have that kind of relationship where like people were around.
I'll see you when I see you.
Well, yeah, exactly. And so I was like, it's gonna be weird. Like when he sees me calling, he's gonna be like, "Well, I'm really dying,"
which is one of the most astute observations you've ever made. That's really very smart to have the foresight to be like, my phone call wields a lot of power over this old and dying man right now.
He's really. I'm in worse shape than I thought.
Yeah, he is gonna feel just the mere pop up of my number or name is gonna make this man feel his mortality.
I remember when I saw Coley and his wife at a Pats game once, and I was talking to Coley. His wife was talking to my dad, and Coley kind of nudged me, and he's like, "Me too." And this is he's obviously already had this child, and he was kind of whispering to me that he has a second baby. They're having a second baby. And I didn't tell her congratulations. So I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to.
No.
I don't want to ruin the surprise. Mm-hmm. And I was like, much later, it struck me that she probably knew she was pregnant. And I wasn't going to ruin that surprise. It was just pregnancy is such a weird thing, man, where I just want to be hands off.
You thought you were going to break Mariah's pregnancy to her?
Logic. It wasn't like I thought it out, but in the moment I was like, again, these people are so weird about pregnancy. I'm trying to say.
I get that. I think ordinarily it's almost like I don't know if I'm supposed to know. Like my buddy wanted to tell me and get it off my chest.
It was probably part of that.
Right.
Part.
I think I'm going to tell a pregnant woman she's pregnant for the first time. I'm what?
Maybe
what?
I didn't know if she I didn't want to be like congratulations, but she didn't know. He knew. He told me, so she's like, what does he think about how I look? Or
Okay.
I'm sure there were a million factors, but later I was like, I bet she knows. Yeah. And I could have told her. And I kind of had that same thing with my grandfather where he knows he's dying. He's aware. Yeah. And so I called him and we're just shooting the shit. And he was like, so how you doing? And I've been sick. And I was like, I'm a little under the weather right now. And And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to keep you." And he wasn't doing it like an asshole. He's doing it like a nice guy. And I was like, "No, Papa Joe, I'm okay. I'm good. Never mind."
Yo, this dude told a dying man, "I'm not feeling so good."
It was just like a natural reaction. Yeah. Like, "How you doing?" Like, a little under the weather, but I'll be all right. And I was like,
should have said.
Yeah, I probably should have kept that one in. But then I was like, "So how are you?" And
well, I'm dying, John.
He goes, it's like the coolest line I ever heard. I like called like a million people and told him. He just goes, "I'm on a dead end street, but I'm going the right way." And I was like, "Oh damn, that's bars, dude.
Gangsta.
That's bars."
That is.
But then I thought about it more, and I think kind of part of that is the fact that when you're dying, whatever you say is cool.
Yeah.
Like if I was like, "Papa Joe, how you doing?" He's like, "Got 2 flapjacks on the stove, but they're not for me."
Yeah.
I'd have been like,
yeah.
"Woo!
Yeah.
Get him, dude!"
Yeah. That is so true, man. I'm on a dead end street, but I'm heading the right way. Is like a rock ballad type, fucking like Guns N' Roses or like Bon Jovi at his peak, being like but I'm heading the right way. It is actually flapjacks on the stove, but they ain't for me. Also plays perfect.
It is kind of cool in talking to him. He's a very pious man. He's very religious, my grandfather, and like that is kind of sick. Where he's like he's cool. He's like there's no like he's like, "Dude, it was taken care of when I was baptized."
I know. They're so at peace. They're so at peace. It's so awesome. It's like that's where I do get I do understand that like. Maybe as you get older and life gets fucked up, you're just like, I'd rather just have something to hold on to or blame this on something else or whatever, as you go through more and more shit, that it's like, it would be nice to get, I'm going the other direction almost, you know what I mean? I'm getting like less and less, but it'd be nice to get more and more. By the time you're dead, you're like...
I at this point, I feel like they'd be like, "I know he's faking it."
Yeah. Right. We've got a whole body of work saying otherwise.
He's doing this for that last week coming up.
Dude, you should keep that flapjacks in the holster till you're like 80. Dinner time's at 6, but I'm not going to make it. Whatever you want.
It's all, guess what? That was pretty sick.
Yeah. You can say anything about, not making it or whatever. That will play. That is... Yeah, I think Jackie wrote back, "That's some rock and roll."
Yeah.
It really is. That's it. Okay, send us your boarding school stories and send us your "I'm about to die" bars.
Yeah.
Tweet at us, send us our stories on Instagram. I think those are relatively easy to come up with, and they'll be very fun.
Yeah.
Who do we have on the show today?
Sebastian.
Yeah.
Sebastian Maniscalco. Boy, that guy is still. I would not have pegged him to be like a pessimistic dude like we are.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to kind of be the opposite. Like he's we know he's like a very old world Italian, like you work hard and then you die sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But I could have seen him being like, I'm blessed with all this. Maybe it's because he's Italian and they're all gaudy and all flashy and I can't stand them. Except for Vinny and Sebastian, the only 2 Italians I can tolerate. But man, it was so good to hear someone be just as negative as we are, and still be so successful. Like his stories about auditioning and shit were great. Like
that was also pretty. If I remember correctly, that was almost foreboding. Where he was like, like, why do you think things are gonna go good at that time? Surviving Barstool was fucking killing it.
So true, man.
Don't worry, it's gonna suck. Things are gonna start to suck.
Something will fucking fall apart. Selfishly, I'm like. These like episodes that are now gonna get a fraction of the views are like the ones I'm in. Like, of course it's that way. Like I remember thinking like,
well, don't worry. At least you get a fraction of the money since we planned this.
Yep, it's all
actually. That's a question I have for you.
One big heist.
Do things like this, when we get something like this happens, I almost said we almost get caught. When we get caught up in something like this, does that make you think at conspiracies differently? Because people think that, like, are you like, you're like, no, we're just idiots, man. And like, I feel like everyone's just an idiot.
What did I say the other day? something happened the other day, and I said to you guys, man, if we could fabricate things like that, we would have. Oh, the Dave video. Dave was like, when the Jackie video with Dave.
Yeah.
And Dave was like, I want to see what that video is.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe we can start to like do that on purpose. Like if we hyped up a video like that, and then I was like, no, you cannot see it,
Yeah.
And then just whip everyone into a frenzy. So I almost started to prove the conspiracy. Because I was like, wait a minute, that really, really worked. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But there are people out there who are like, let's fucking do that. So yes and no. Yes, I think I've learned through Barstool that often life is stranger.
Like it truly shocks me that people are like they did this on purpose. Like, that's genuinely surprising.
I mean, I also see the other side of like the timing. It's like if you were to do it, it would be this exact way.
I guess
it would be this exact way to put it out a little bit, get people hooked.
But that's almost like
put something that YouTube's gonna strike you on, so you can play this game and there's actually like gonna be some proof behind it. Because you could just make it up, like YouTube gave us a strike, and I don't know, maybe somebody could come out and be like, no, we didn't, But say some shit that we know YouTube will censor us on, and then pull the plug.
But we don't even. No one knows that clearly.
This is my point. But I think we have proven time and time again we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
To the point that we don't do the regular things, let alone the advanced things. Like we're not on the right platforms. We're never using things the right way. We are never optimizing anything. But now all of a sudden we're going to be like the ones who are 10 steps ahead, and stealing is like crazy. It's just like if you fuck around on the internet with enough people and enough drama and enough, like all these things just fucking happen.
Right.
And it's one of those things where like I described earlier, like it makes sense that it would be us because we are big enough that we would get noticed. We're stupid enough that we don't know how to do it. We're loudmouth enough that we are saying some fucked up shit. All of that is like why we would be the people to get dinged and have it be a whole fucking production and a whole saga. But I thought the most disappointing part was there was a time that I would have there was a time where I would have been like, fuck yes, the Stoolies are going to take care of this. Like we don't even have to worry. Like they're all going to subscribe, whatever price, whatever. The money doesn't even matter. Like we're going to get all of our fans are going to be like, fuck YouTube. Where do we go? What do we pay? And I got enough people. I said to Dave, I said, put like a kick, like a GoFundMe out or something like that, like something that's separate, and let people pay more, because I bet there are stoolies out there who'd be like, I'll pay $20 for it, just because fuck the cheapskates, and also I think you guys deserve it, whatever your reasoning is. I know there are plenty of people. I got many DMs being like, I'll pay extra. Who gives a fuck? But the majority of people being like, you guys plan this, or fuck this, or fuck you. I was like, ugh, I just can't count on the fan base like I
disagree with that.
Thought it was.
I think those they're more. I think the exact number that per capita. Yeah. I think that's the same. I think there will be massive numbers that buy it.
I was gonna say the opposite. Like those fans still exist, but there's just so many more.
I think there's a lot more diehards too. Because again, we're thinking back to like when we needed T-shirts to keep us afloat, and 5,000 bought them, and that's great. And then like now it's gonna be 100,000 who buy this. Like I think it's grown. This will probably ultimately end up, I would guess, exactly where I guessed, which it's like I would be like, I knew there were gonna be people who were angry. I think it's going to be a big number that buys it, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had this epiphany over the weekend, thinking about this and just other things with this show. Because it all goes into everything I've been saying this episode about how long we've been doing it and some of the things that go along with that. The fact that we have our show and our audience, the way we do things, for almost like pushing upwards of 15 years now, is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like that, the fact that there is still a large number of really diehards. And, we've seen other shows that have these meteoric rises and go on to sell out Madison Square Garden, and that's amazing. We've seen shows that are flashed in the pans and they're big and then they disappear. But the fact that we are still just like steady here with our fan base is... I love that. I love that more than anything. I want it to be that way forever. I want, as much as I felt like, I see what you're saying, but my knee-jerk reaction was like, oh, stoolies aren't necessarily the same that they once were. I think KFC Radio fans are the same that they were then and are now. And I think some of them are older, and so, maybe they don't consume as much or, life changes or whatever. But having that, I would just love for the KFC Radio fan base to always, if I could just always count on this fan base to be that forever. And we don't even necessarily need that to grow. I would love that diehard level to keep going.
Yeah.
But if we just kept the ones that we've had for this long, because if you stuck around for this long, I feel like we're in it till death do us part, till the flapjacks are on. Then you feel like, it's like you never have anything to worry about, because like when the chips are really down, if I can always count on those people, like we can do this forever. Me and you, them, that they as fans can get this forever. We can do it forever. You just have to make sure that like when shit goes down, like if this somehow was just a KFC Radio thing, I would love to know that we could rely on our fans to be like, all of our fans will pay $9.99. And I hope that translates to Surviving Barstool too, but there's something about like when it's our thing. And I think that we've pretty much like fostered that and done that, but I would just love to be able to like bank on that forever, because we are reaching a weird time where like everybody's getting older, Barstool's changing, the landscapes are changing, the younger people are different, it's just all very strange. And it's like, as long as I can count on that, and you guys hold up your end and we'll hold up our end, we're good. But I need to know that you'll always buy some T-shirts, you'll always buy some tickets, you'll always if you need the pay-per-view, if you need the donation, if you need the whatever it is, I feel like we've got that fan base. We just got to keep it there forever. And things like this make me realize, like, I think we do have that in spades. Maybe not the biggest, maybe not the most vocal. Like I definitely think there are other fan bases too that are more vocal, more showy. Like they have names and they have things and weird, more like the quiet side of it. But I would hope that when we need it, if we need it, like they are, chicken heads show out. So, but I hope you're right. I think there'll be a lot of people. I think there's still a lot of people who are on this, like, it's a principle thing, which is just like, okay, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's your principle. It's your principle. But
it's it's a weird thing to really draw a line in the sand on, but okay. Yeah. It's also so worth it. If this was like almost anything else, I'd be like, I don't know, man. Maybe you want it, maybe you don't. $10, I get it. There's a whole streaming service. You can buy a whole fucking Oscar-worthy movie. Okay. This, to me, I'm like, I am guaranteeing sure that you'll get $9.99 worth in this episode alone, let alone the final 6.
Did you give anyone the okay to switch over to the Barstool Confessions YouTube channel? It's now the Barstool Mincy channel.
You're welcome, Mincy.
I just got an email like you're now, like, the Barstool team is now the owner of Barstool Mincy. I was like, why do I have access to Barstool Mincy? And all the old confessions are just on private now. And it's going to be where Wake Up Mince happens. So you don't have to subscribe if you're already subscribed.
Mincy can use Barstool Confessions in 2 weeks when he says the N-word.
How many subscribers are on there?
Like 3,000.
Oh, okay.
I had that for a while. I lost it. That channel.
Yeah, they probably started scrubbing it and kicking us off. I got no heads up on that one. So.
Fuck. Yeah, never mind. Fuck this company. Everything I said. Fuck. Let's do the voicemails.
Voicemails are brought to you by Pirate Water. Go get it right now. It's great for a ski weekend. Oh, my goodness gracious. Thinking about sitting on a porch after a nice ski day. Steam coming out of my underloins. Pirate Water in hand. It's living, baby. It is for partiers, for ragers. It is the perfect drink for you. It comes in Bahama Mama, Miami Vice, Margarita, Sex on the Beach, all the beachy flavors. Take that to the mountain. Take that to your après ski. Take that to the tailgate on Sunday. Take it wherever you want because it is a 16-ounce canned, ready-to-drink malt beverage with 10% alcohol and all you need for a good time. I have listed the flavors. My favorite is margarita, although I have a little bit of a Miami Vice thing going on lately. I don't know if it's because it's on Netflix and Colin Farrell looks so damn hot in it. I don't know. Whatever. I just got a Miami Vice thing going. But you can get a Miami Vice thing going on for yourself as well if you go to drinkpiratewater.com to find Pirate Water at a location near you, or you can order it on GoPuff. Also, make sure to follow and tag at Pirate Water in your post for a chance to be reposted.
Hey, just getting home from a night out and took control of the touch tunes at the bar, and typically my first move is Everlasting Love by Carl Carlton.
Great song.
Today I chose Style by Taylor Swift, got the whole bar bumping, and then went to All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. Somebody overpaid to skip me for some trash Lady Gaga song, and that made me irate and I had to fully leave the bar. But my question for you guys is, if you were in charge of touch tunes or the music, whatever, what is your song that you're going for to just shift the vibe?
Dude, that's a tough one. First of all, it's such a I just got home from the bar call in the sense like when you're in that state and everything's a secret.
Yeah, you're in your own apartment by yourself.
I got some tea. I actually went to a concert last night. I went to Mark Roberge and John Lampley at City Winery, and this is obviously I'm a prisoner of the moment right now. They burned the house down with Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Mm-hmm. Like Lampley was on the horns, Mark was doing fucking Bruce, and it was, dude, like the whole City Winery's an older crowd. It's a Sunday night. Like
people were raging.
People were up like Santa Claus is coming to town. Hey, Santa Claus. It was fucking, bro. I hadn't felt any Christmas until that, and like now I'm like,
you're sitting in seats.
Goddamn sweater now.
You were sitting in seats for this?
I didn't know they were little suites. They're little boxes, so I was in Mark's little box at City Winery.
And then people were like, they got up and were like dancing and shit for that song or for the whole thing?
Song.
Yeah. So that's like,
and they did Crazy Game Poker after, so they stayed up for that too. But
right.
That was one of the encore songs.
Right, I mean, right now, Christmas music at bars, murder.
Yeah,
you can't be like, fucking the slow ones, but the Mariahs or Bruce or whatever. That shit hits. In general, I'll always throw the fastball and just go with Call Me Maybe.
Call Me Maybe is a great one.
Anytime,
Dude,
any place, anywhere.
If this is a song that actually I've loved this song since probably 2007, but I think it's having a bit of a resurgence right now because I've heard it out recently. It is the final song in Saltburn, so I'm guessing that's what causing this resurgence. But Murder on the Dance Floor is a heater.
What's Murder on the Dance Floor?
Oh man,
by who?
I don't know who it's by. It's Murder on the Dance Floor. Did you? I'm gonna burn this goddamn house right down. Do you know? Dude, it is.
I mean, I'm sure maybe
it was. No joke. My troublemaking friend from school. Like this was his favorite song. Yeah. And so we used to listen to it all the time. And then when this came out in Saltburn, I was like, no fucking way. Because that's like a boarding school type thing, too.
Yeah. When someone jumps you in touch tunes, it's fucking...
I'm not a big touch tunes guy. I like it, but I'm not really a music guy, so I'm never like, give me the aux.
Anytime I've ever done it, I've put like $100 in it. Like, this is going to be playing until Tuesday.
I love when someone else in my group is in control of touch tunes.
Mm-hmm. Next up. This guy is an
awesome. What's up, you guys? I know you're going through all that stuff right now with Barstool Survivor, YouTube, basically telling you what you can and can't say, regulating your speech. What's something that you think should be regulated that isn't already? My example is the volume of commercials, I think, is absolutely out of control. When you're watching a show and crazy. Then out of nowhere a commercial comes on and it's like 1,000,000 times louder than the show. That drives me nuts. So what should be regulated that isn't already? Does it need to be tech? Could be anything. Maybe
more regulation needed.
Probably speech.
I was gonna say voting, speech, and driving. Three things that are regulated that probably need more of it. But
it's a very American idea.
Yeah.
I can just say whatever I want, whenever I want, with no repercussions.
Yeah. I hate that it's like, you have to, if you want Kirk Minahan to be able to say I'm gonna blow up your home in a funny way, that you have to have this like blanket free speech thing, or else it's a slippery slope. But it's like, no. The people who are doing a creative show should be able to say, I'm going to blow up your house and dig up your dead dad. And the assholes who are like, spitting fucking racist vitriol should not. Like, I don't know. Use your fucking head. We should probably regulate sex a little more too. I mean, think about it. It's the most, it's like the biggest thing that we do, And you're just like,
I strongly disagree with that.
It's like the most like power you have.
Everything.
Yeah,
so much little time to spend actually happening.
Right. Yeah. But like the results of it, the power of it, the drive, and we just, as soon as those things get hard, you can just fucking do it. And it's like, if you're a kid or like, I don't know, some people should not be able to procreate. We should straight up sterilize certain people. I don't know. All those things need to be regulated a little bit more.
I have one. I went to a Bruins game over Thanksgiving. In arena giveaways.
Can't do them.
It's too much. It used to be like every game you had like two, right? You had like your seat upgrade and your fan of the game. Mm-hmm. Like not even giveaways, but like
challenges,
engagements, or whatever you want to call them.
Right.
Like every whistle now, there's something presented by somebody.
And it's like wearing the ball under the hat, and like here's the trivia, and know the song and name the tune and all that shit. Yeah,
and that's obviously speaking to the world today. But like, yo, I can hang out for a second while you clean the ice.
Just play the organ. Just dun, 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 done. We're back on.
Don't worry about it. You don't have to distract me from the fact that someone is shoveling the ice right now. Just I'll watch that, and then I'll watch the hockey again when that's done.
Also, to piggyback on that with one of yours as well, the veteran of the game has gotten wildly out of hand.
Oh.
Yeah.
The
servicemen and women of the game. They clearly have run through the A team.
No,
they run through like the B and C team. We're not talking about like the secretary at the National Guard in San Diego. It's like, okay,
dude.
Right.
I was at a Bruins game years ago. This is stuck with me. That I stood up and gave a standing ovation for a soldier who was surprising his mom. And it turned out he'd been in Columbus, Ohio for 6 months. I almost took a knee on the spot. I was like, he was where? Columbus? Why don't you go visit him? It's $69. that to this day, I was like, I looked at my brother. I was like, did they just say Columbus?
That is straight out of curve.
That's like them getting the call, like just like for real. I could be there in 30.
You are digging deep. You are scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I was like, I didn't even realize we were at war with Cartagena, right? No, Ohio. Dude's been going to fucking Ohio State games and shit. I don't know if that needs a standing up. Rent.app is teaming up with Barstool HQ and giving away one of our producers a free month of rent. We pay them. Tune in to the NYC office-wide campaign led by Kelly Keegs, our resident president, on Barstool Radio for all the talent to pitch why their producer deserves free rent. I think Jackie and Paz deserve free rent because they work hard and they bring such a glowing attitude to the show. And they buy me Snoop Solo Stoops whenever I ask. Paying rent, it's something that we all have to do, and let's be honest, it can sometimes be a bit of a hassle. As you know, if you listen to the show, I always forget. Today is December 4th. I'm hoping to pay by the end of the week. Rent.app's going to help you with that. It is straightforward. They make it easy and beneficial for your financial future. Rent.app is the ultimate tool for renters everywhere. It takes the hassle out of paying for rent by depositing your payments directly to your landlord's bank account. No more trips to the ATM, no more mail-in checks, which is what I do, and no more managing balances in multiple apps. And get this, there are no fees, no weekly limits. There are no fees, no weekly limits. Rent.app is completely free for you to use. No need for your landlord to create an account. It is completely free for them too. The benefits don't stop there. Rent.app also does this fun little thing where they tell people when you're doing good. Not something that happens commonly. They tell the credit bureaus when you pay your rent on time, so it is good for your credit. They optionally report. Not a lot of people do that. They report them on time, rent payments to the major credit bureaus. It brings you one step closer to home ownership and helps you boost your credit score. So why wait? Head to rent.app/Barstool for $50 off your first rent payment and download Rent.app in the App Store today.
All right, KFC Fights in the Gang. So I'm 27 years old, just moved out of a post-college house with like very good friends that 3 guys that are all moving into homes with their significant others and girlfriends. My 2 best friends from home are that I grew up with like high school. Both are married. One has kids, like the other has a kid on the way. And just like, you know, some general advice, like for number 1, how to manage like, you know, being single and like in and around like, you know, people that are probably more advanced in, you know, relationship and life, stuff like that in general. But number 2, as I'm moving out of this place, I work a remote job, and just because I can, I'm taking advantage and gonna do I live in the Mid-Atlantic and gonna do a month in Boulder this winter, and then gonna do a month in Florida after that. And like just any general advice for like somebody like doing some travel to like a, you know, city you haven't been to and like only gonna be for a little bit. So anything you guys can give me in general, but anyway, appreciate the advice, and you know, looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks.
Peter Pan, the floor is yours.
I actually don't have advice because like I'm Peter Pan, but I'm in Never Neverland.
You're
like,
not surrounded by it.
I don't have friends who have kids.
Right.
Friends,
What that guy needs is Robin Williams and Hook. He went back to the real life, and like you're Rufio.
Tiny little, like occasionally I get a text picture of a baby who I'm the godfather of, and I just heart it, and that's about the.
I would imagine, as a guy, as a girl, I feel like it's tough. As a girl, you probably still got to go to all these girl things, and now there's all babies and moms around and shit. But that's like your life. Yeah. As a guy, I feel like it's like, we're just not going to invite Steve anymore to this thing because we're doing a couples night and Steve's like out fucking girls. Not even like in a bad way. It's just like, right? He doesn't want to go.
I would.
We don't want to subject him to it.
Like when my friends, like all my friends with kids do not live near me. So like when my friends in DC invite me, I go. Mm-hmm. And when my sister invites me to her house, I go. And when like
I think you'll always get an invite. And if it was a more consistent thing, I think you'd probably be left off a couple. You know, it's just like if we're getting the kids together, we don't need to like also include John.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to be upset that we didn't include him in that. And Lord knows we don't even want to be included in this, so why subject him to that? So like it kind of works out. Now, if for some reason like you're at all of these things, I don't know. I think that's a little weird.
I don't think it's weird.
I guess, you know, like
weird for who?
I mean, almost everybody. Like, I mean, if we're talking about like birthdays and events and stuff, like yes. But if it's like, you know, we're doing couples night because our lives suck, and we also our kids are in the same grade, and then also like John's there. It's like this is fucking weird.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah, events, yes.
Yeah, event. You know, you should always go to fucking birthdays and baptisms and all that stuff. If you wanna. I think you should make an effort for all those things because that's the kind of stuff where you're like at this age. Here would be my advice. At this age, when you do get invited to, let's say, a baptism, that fucking sucks, right? But you say no to that, and then you say no to the first birthday, and you say no to this, you say no to that, and then all of a sudden, like you don't know any of your friends and their kids, and like all of a sudden, it might take like 10 years, but all of a sudden you might turn around and be like, well, fuck, I have like, I don't have any of this shit in my life. So I would go to some of those things, make an effort, because 99% of the rest of your life, you do whatever you want at all times.
Right.
So like, yeah, this Sunday you got to go to a baptism, it blows, but like, then go back to doing whatever the fuck you want, you know?
Yeah.
Recognize that your friends that you're talking about who do have these kids don't get to do that ever, you know? But But yeah, I think if you're going to like a lot of, I just don't think you can. Life changes so much for the people who do it, and then also for like this one guy left. It's like you don't have the gang anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, your life totally changes too.
My like core friends, I'm so far removed from all of them.
Physically?
Physically. That we only see each other at events anyway.
Right.
So
it's if you were like living like this is actually not he said like pairing off with their significant others. That is the first step of life, which kind of sucks. In the beginning, I think you're living with 4 guys, 3 guys like I'm moving in with my girl. In the beginning, I think you 5th wheel, 6th wheel, 10th wheel that a lot, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think you do still show up to the bar because the girls are still going out. You still have some of your traditions. Now it's just like couples are there all the time instead of just being the guys. I think you go to a lot of those things. It's when the kids get involved that you might turn around and be like, I don't have a social life anymore because like all my friends are now dads.
Right.
All of their wives who used to hang out now, no way. They're dealing with their kids. Like, what do I do now? I don't know what you do there because I think you get in a little bit of trouble where it's like I'm hanging out with like the 25-year-old from work and it's like that's fucking weird.
I don't understand how that happens. Like where for that to happen, you just have to stop going to age appropriate places, or you keep going.
I think it is usually a work thing. Like my one buddy who held out. Oddly enough, my one friend who had the longest relationship also held out the longest for marriage. So he was in a relationship the whole time. But he was like, I'm not getting married until he was like 38. But he started dating her when he was like 25. It was great. It was a very strange dynamic. But I think he was at work, and a couple of the younger people were like, oh, that guy's a manager, but he's cool. And it's like, you want to come out for a beer or whatever? And then all of a sudden you just find yourself, going out with. I remember being like, what are you doing? Going out with the interns, dude? You're like, you're about to be promoted to like managing director. What are you doing? So I think that's one way it happens. But yeah, the rest, I don't know. I mean, but relationships and kids are 2 different levels of your social life dying. Like, very different.
Really?
I mean, because couples still will go out and shit,
Yeah.
It's like, you don't like this wife, or that wife used to party more, or hey, they leave early, or we don't go to the strip club, or whatever crazy guy things you might do. That changes, but you're still just adults hanging out. Kids is like, all of this is done. None of this is happening anymore.
I'm very lucky that like everyone I hang out with is infertile. See?
I mean, Barstool is just such a fucking weird experiment. It's one, you're living a giant reality show pretty much.
Right. Right.
So you have peers that are all your age, kind of going through the same thing. Where most people, if you're like this, you're probably the odd man out, and here you're the weirdo if you have kids.
Yeah, I think
it's evening out. But in the beginning, like when I was having kids, I was like, I don't have a single person in the world I can talk to about this. I can talk to like some guys at WFAN who are radio hosts who have kids, but like not, there was not one person in the world that can be like, how do you do your job like this and have kids? Not one.
From my hometown, I think everyone has kids, but like I don't even really. Like my high school friends, I think one person has a kid.
Crazy.
Out of like 10 of us.
Yeah, so you're all either just infertile or smart. One or the other. Geniuses or shooting blanks.
Either way is good.
All right.
This is what we call a win-win.
Yeah, man. Let's get into it with Sebastian Maniscalco, one of the biggest comedians in the world, back after, maybe 5 years since his last appearance?
At least, yeah.
Here on KFC Radio. Did that develop after, like, when you did The Irishman, did you click with De Niro?
No.
No?
No, it wasn't like, it's not like we were like, cut, what are you doing tonight?
Yeah.
It was none of that. It was like, cut,
right.
He went to his thing, and I, stayed in my section.
Yeah.
There was no real like socializing whatsoever. And people ask me, did you call him up and ask him to play your dad in About My Father? I was like, no, I didn't even have the guy's number. A producer got him the script, and he enjoyed the script. And he actually came to see me at Radio City Music Hall after we did The Irishman. So there was a bit of a relationship there.
I mean, I'd say that's a pretty...
Yeah, I mean, listen. But
respect,
there was no like... There was no phone calls, nothing like that.
That's. Did you know that he was in the audience that night?
Yeah,
that's got to be a little bit.
I mean, yeah,
elevated.
It's a guy I grew up with having posters on my wall.
And he's there watching you tonight.
Now he's at my show. It's a bit surreal. And then he's playing my father. And on top of that, my father is coaching him on set.
How to be mean.
No way. Yeah, because he wanted him there. So my father's like, De Niro called me, wants me on set. How much does that pay? Like my dad was looking for a check.
No way.
I go, Dad.
Hell yeah, what a hustler.
You're working with Robert De Niro.
That's your payment.
He goes, yeah, but I gotta take off work. And if I take off work, I'm gonna lose money. So how much?
That's unbelievable.
So yeah, my dad was looking for a salary.
And then, I respect the hell out of that. Like,
you know,
Robbie wants me there.
Worth,
how much he writing the check for? That's fucking unreal.
And then on set, would like you run a line, you do a scene. Would he be like, "That's not right. No. This is how I do it." Is he barking out orders to De Niro?
There was none of
because that'd be crazy.
There's one point where I had to cry in the movie, right? So I go to this. We're on a tarmac airplane. He comes off the airplane, and I kind of like profess my love to my father. Now, I was pining this the whole time I was on set because I'm like, I gotta cry. I've never really cried. I'm a sensitive guy, but I've never cried on a movie. Yeah. So we do 2 scenes. I ain't crying, right? He's crying, and I'm looking at him in the scene going, this guy's crying on cue. Like I was like a fan watching him. And then I finally asked him, I go, I'm having problems here, man. Could you help me out? He takes me aside and he tells me his process. He's like, you know what I do is I think of my son, because my son is your age. He starts crying, talking about his son. And I start crying. And I go, I got to use this. Let me use this. So I come into the scene crying. I wasn't supposed to come into the scene crying, but I was just using it as momentum. So I learned a lot from him, just being around him and what he was kind of teaching me throughout the whole process. But yeah, I mean, it gave me a lot of confidence moving forward to do a show like Bookie, because now I feel like you
did hang with De Niro.
I hung with De Niro for 8 weeks on a set, and it gave me confidence moving forward that I do have some ability here. I'm by no means a seasoned actor. I'm still working on it, and it's still difficult for me, but I enjoy doing it.
All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Click that button.
Or I'll cut off my finger.